All right, everybody, what is going on? Good afternoon. We got some more linebackers to look at here. We are moving through the middle portion of the draft for linebackers now. We did round 1 and round 2 yesterday. Now we're on to round 3, and we've got a few guys that are currently projected to be somewhere around round 3 on the aggregate big board. Going to start with Josiah Trotter here. Missouri, the Missouri Tigers. He's going to be 21 when the season starts, so still nice and young. Got pretty good size for the modern game, almost 240, 6'2", that works, decent arm length, big hands. And the only thing he did at the combine was his bench press, but he did it quite well, especially because he does have decently long arms. So not a bad overall initial impression into Trotter. This video is powered by Prize Picks. More on them in a moment. Most of big boards, we got some seconds, we got some thirds. The aggregate currently has him very early in the third, although he does kind of bounce back and forth. Could easily be a second-round pick. Had 2 years of good production. The thing that really stands out is that last year he had 13 tackles for loss. So a big percentage of his tackles were made behind the line of scrimmage. Not great PFF grades overall, though, so there are some concerns about maybe his snap-to-snap effectiveness, but he was a good player at Missouri. He's a really good run defender. That's the thing that really sticks out with him. He reads the play, he goes to where the play is headed, and he works through traffic. He's someone that is willing to fight his way to the ball. He can shed blockers with his power. He's somebody that can kind of really just blow his way through a blocker. He has blitzing upside from the inside and the outside. He can blitz as an off-ball linebacker. He can play temporary edge rusher in some situations. You can kind of deploy him creatively. I'm not going to say that he's a hybrid, but there is a little bit of that going on here. High effort, high motor, always pushing, always trying to get to the ball, always giving maximum effort. He punches ferociously. His punches land firmly and allow him to kind of stun a blocker or knock him back. And he's a good form tackler as well. He does tend to bring guys down pretty quickly when he gets the opportunity to. And I know he didn't do a lot at the combine, but I think he's a decent athlete at the very least. He's a workable athlete. No big objection. Now, one thing with Trotter that's a little bit frustrating is that he's got long legs. And when you are long-legged, it's a little bit harder for you to change direction and have smooth movement skills. The fluidity of your movement is not going to be what you want. So he's not going to be great in coverage. Man, and as of right now, I would say zone as well. He doesn't have a great understanding of zone. So coverage is something that he struggles with. I do wonder if big and powerful players are going to overwhelm him a little bit. That's a problem. I know he's not necessarily small, but he's still not big either. And sometimes his form when taking on the blocker, he kind of leans into contact a little bit. So sometimes suboptimal form when taking on the blocker. So the coverage thing hurts, but you can maybe mitigate that by having him blitz a lot, and maybe he can get better at zone coverage at least. And the run defense stuff is still legit. So late second round, I'm okay. I'm not enamored with the idea of a linebacker that doesn't cover that well, but at the same time, that can improve, and there's a lot of other stuff here to like. So yeah, Josiah Trotter, good player. Do you like sports? If you do, then the best way to make them even better and more exciting is using Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. Prize Picks makes daily fantasy simple. Just pick more or less on your favorite players' projections and build lineups with a few taps. Whatever sport you're into, Prize Picks gives you a fun way to stay locked in while you're watching. I've had a great time using Prize Picks so far. It makes this daily fantasy thing so easy and fun, and it even makes watching the games way more exciting. And with the cool social feeds feature, you can share lineups with your friends and even follow partners to tail or fade their picks. Obviously, we're in the NFL offseason right now, but we've got basketball, baseball, hockey, all kinds of other stuff, so don't be afraid to test things out in whatever sport clicks with you. You can even pick multiple sports in the same lineup and sweat everything at once. And don't forget about team picks, where you can pick winners, spreads, and totals on any major game. So, download Prize Picks, America's #1 sports app. And don't forget, Code HMA, that is HMA, gives you $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize picks. It's good to be right. And remember, always gamble responsibly. Okay, so next up, Kyle Lewis of Pittsburgh. This one's really interesting, so buckle up for this one. This one might make more sense than any other linebacker we can talk about because it's not even clear if Kyle Lewis is really a linebacker, but he might be. Pittsburgh Panthers, 22 when the season starts. He is tiny. He is 6 feet flat, 220 pounds. Even in the modern NFL, 220 is pushing it for a linebacker. That is maybe a little too much. So if this guy ends up playing safety or some kind of big nickel role, it will not be the biggest shock in the world. His arms are also kind of short. He's got decent hands, I guess, but you take a look at his athleticism, he is a good athlete. So there's something here. Like he ran a good 40, big jumps, sub 7-second 3-cone. He can do something here. I don't know what it is. Big boards, mostly third round, little bit of second. Aggregate puts him in the third. Produced more in 2024 than he did in 2025. And he was a better player in 2024 overall. More tackles for loss, more plays made, better PFF grade, but still not bad or anything like that. All right. That being said, still a lot of fun. He's got linebacker traits. He's got safety traits. He can do a little bit of both. He may end up doing both or also neither. That's the thing. But he could do both. He's really good at making plays in the backfield. Over the last 2 years, he's got 24 tackles for loss and 10 sacks. And it's not like he's playing part-time as like some kind of edge rusher. This is a linebacker for the most part. He reads and reacts really well. He's somebody that understands how to read an offensive play and be where he needs to be. He's an elite athlete, especially for the position linebacker, but even for other positions, he's a good elite. He's a good athlete. He can move fluidly. He's got the ability to change direction. He's got the ability to stop and start. And he's really, really good in coverage. So there's a lot to like with Kyle Lewis. This is going to work one way or the other. But will it work at linebacker knowing that he's 220? Will it work knowing that once you get a blocker on him, he's pretty much taken out of the play? He cannot shed. He cannot move off blocks effectively. It's just not his game. And it probably never will be because a big problem is his size. Sometimes he bites too hard on misdirection. Sometimes he does get fooled. He had a better year in 2024 than 2025, which is a little bit of maybe a little bit of a tell. And he does give up yak on tackles. Even if he does make the tackle, he will get pushed forward. And there's not much he can do about that because of his size. So I don't know if everybody can make this work, but somebody will make this work. I don't know if it's McDonald. I think he likes a little bit more size with his linebackers. So if the Seahawks got a guy like a Kyle Lewis, I think we would use him, but we would not use him necessarily as a full-time linebacker. It would be situational. He might even play a little safety or nickel corner. The point I'm trying to make is that he's going to be able to do something. So early third, I think, is good. It's hard to not appreciate him, even if you don't necessarily think he'll fit your defense because of the way you play. So I like him, but this is going to be a little bit interesting to see where he lands. Jaishawn Barham is going to be our final guy for this video, the last third-round linebacker right now, Michigan Wolverine. 22 when the season starts. He's got pretty typical size, kind of tall, but 240 pounds, but very, very long arms. And that's kind of the name of the game here. This guy has freaky long arms, which is part of the reason why he may end up doing more than just being a linebacker. And he's also got the big hands, if you're into that kind of stuff as well. Tested okay. Not anything special, not anything over the top, but fine overall. Vert was bad. Broad was good. Kind of interesting. Got some thirds, got some fourths. Aggregate puts him in the third. The numbers are interesting, right? Because last year he started playing a lot as an edge rusher. His tackles, of course, went down because that's what happens when you play edge, but was making more plays in the backfield and seemed like he was doing a little bit better. Year before that, he was actually a traditional off-ball linebacker. He was still fine. So a little bit of a mix here, a little bit of mixed signals here, but I think you guys can see where I'm going here. This guy may end up either moving to edge full-time or being a hybrid. He may end up being a light Micah Parsons. So that's fun. He's very hard to land a clean block on. He's a smooth mover, and that goes for edge rusher movements and excuse me, and also moving as an off-ball linebacker. He's going to have the long arm advantage no matter what. Like, these are very long arms, even by edge standards, especially this year. The zone coverage drops are good. He knows how to drop into a zone and maintain that zone. And he's a very angry, aggressive player. So you do see a lot of violence coming out of him, although that cuts both ways. So there is a chance that Barham ends up positionless. Like, maybe he'll be too small for edge and too big and slow for linebacker. I don't know. There's always room for that to happen. He is a post-penalty play guy. He is a guy that will pick up a dumb penalty because he hit somebody after a whistle. So that's going to have to either be dealt with or lived with. Sometimes he amps himself up so much he just whiffs on the play. He just overruns it completely. And as of right now, he's not a skilled pass rusher. If you put him on the edge, he's just going to try to win with his physical tools. He needs to learn actual rush moves. He needs to learn the finer points of rushing the quarterback. So it's an exciting gamble. The length is really appealing, and I understand that there's a lot to like here. There's just no guarantee it works out. So this one's tough. I think late third rounder is right. I'm a little nervous here for some reason. Little bit confused as to why it took so long for Michigan to move him to edge. But I think late third round is about right, which is pretty close to where the aggregate has him. I'm fine with that. Good player. But I don't know how this ends up necessarily. Okay, that is going to do it for this video. We'll talk more about linebackers later today. We'll move into like the fourth. And yeah, see you guys later. Go Hawks. Everybody have a great rest of your day.